توی این ویدیو میخوایم با یه داستان کوتاه دیگه تمرین لیسنینگ و درک مطلب داشته باشیم. من این داستان رو به 3 قسمت تقسیم کردم و برای هر قسمت 2 سوال مطرح کردم که قبل از هر قسمت اون 2 سوال رو میخونیم و بعد سعی میکنیم که توی متن جوابش رو پیدا کنیم. آخر هر قسمت من یه سوال سوم رو هم مطرح میکنم که از قبل ندیدیم، فقط برای تمرین بیشتر. برای اینکه این ویدیو تاثیر بیشتری داشته باشه از اینجا به بعد میخوایم فقط انگلیسی صحبت کنیم. اگه دوست داشتید میتونید زیرنویس انگلیسی یا فارسی رو از پایین ویدیو فعال کنید، ولی من پیشنهاد میکنم حداقل یه بار بدون زیرنویس ببینید. بریم شروع کنیم. Let's start with section 1. Our first question is, why did Ethan choose to volunteer at Sunset Oaks retirement home? So, retirement home is a place that people go to when they get old. When they are retired, when they don't have a job anymore. Now, Sunset Oaks is just the name of this retirement home. Why did Ethan choose to volunteer? Volunteer is something that you do to help people, but you don't want any money for it. You're just giving your time to people. You're helping them and you don't want any money in return. Question number 2. What does Mrs. Delaney criticize about Ethan's work? So we know that Ethan is working in this retirement home as a volunteer. He's working for free. But a person named Mrs. Delaney, she's not happy with Ethan's work. She's finding faults. She's finding errors in his work. And she's telling him, hey, you're not doing this well. You're not doing this properly. That's what it means when we say criticize. Let's read the first section. Ethan Sharma wrote volunteer hours 50 out of 100 on his bedroom whiteboard. His teacher had said colleges liked students who care about others. So Ethan chose the Sunset Oaks retirement home. He hated it. The smell of cleaning products made his nose itch, and folding towels felt boring. Mrs. Delaney, an 89-year-old woman with bright purple glasses and odd socks, rolled into the laundry room in her wheelchair. "New boy," she said, pointing at his headphones. "You fold badly." Ethan frowned. "I'm just here to finish my hours." "Hours?" she laughed. "You're here, but your head is somewhere else." She threw him a wrinkled shirt. "Do it again. And take those off," she said, tapping her own ears. Ethan sighed, removed his headphones, and tried again. As he folded, Mrs. Delaney talked about her husband, who loved folding paper into birds and flowers. Ethan glanced at the clock 3 times. So, we're done with the first part. Let's answer the questions. Why did Ethan choose to volunteer to work for free at Sunset Oaks retirement home? Because his teacher said colleges value students who care about others. So, if you want to go to college, you have to show them that you care about others, meaning that you like others, and you help them for free. So that's why he did this, to show colleges, to show universities that he cares for people, that he is a good person. Question 2. What does Mrs. Delaney criticize about Ethan's work? What does Mrs. Delaney think Ethan is doing wrong? The answer? She criticizes his poor folding. So she criticizes him for his bad job at folding the clothes. And he tells him that he's distracted by his headphones. He tells him that because you are using headphones, you're distracted. You're thinking about something else. Now, our bonus question, our extra question. What shows Ethan's impatience during his first task? His first task means the first thing that he has to do, his first job. How do we know that he is impatient, that he can't wait for this to end? Answer? We know he can't wait. We know that he is impatient because he glances at the clock 3 times. He looks at the clock 3 times. So we know when somebody is looking at the clock, it means that they are bored, that they want this to end quickly. Let's start with section 2. Our first question is, why does Ethan bring origami paper to Sunset Oaks? Origami paper is a special kind of paper. Have you seen those people who fold paper and make it into a cat, a dog, a swan? Those papers are called origami paper. And those cats and dogs are called origami dog or origami cat. So what does Ethan bring that kind of paper to the retirement home? Our second question is, in the past, what did Mrs. Delaney's husband do every time she was sick? So every time Mrs. Delaney got sick, her husband did something. What did he do? Now let's read section 2. The next week, Ethan brought origami paper to Sunset Oaks. Mrs. Delaney's stories about her husband stuck in his mind, though he didn't know why. When he handed her the colorful paper, her eyes widened. You listened? It's just paper, Ethan mumbled. She taught him to fold a crane, her shaky hands guiding his. My husband made 1,000 of these when I was sick. Said they'd bring luck. She laughed. Silly man. But it worked. I'm still here. Ethan's first crane looked messy, but Mrs. Delaney hung it above her bed. Perfect, she said. Slowly, Ethan stopped checking the clock. He learned she'd been a teacher, loved spicy food, and hated the color beige. One afternoon, he brought her a red chili pepper from his mom's garden. Mrs. Delaney grinned like a child. Why do you keep coming? She asked, hanging the pepper beside the crane. Ethan paused. I need the hours. She shook her head. No. You stay because you see me now. So, let's answer our questions. Why does Ethan bring origami paper to Sunset Oaks? Because Mrs. Delaney's stories about her husband inspired him. So it made him do this because he heard the stories about Mrs. Delaney's husband. So he brought her the origami paper so that she can make origami again. And question number 2. In the past, what did Mrs. Delaney's husband do every time she was sick? Every time she was sick, her husband made 1,000 paper cranes because he thought it was good luck. And our bonus question, how does Ethan's relationship with Mrs. Delaney evolve in this section? Evolve means improve, get better. How does their relationship, the way they talk to each other, the way they spend time together, how does this change for the better in this section? Well, he starts talking to her. He learns about her life and even brings her a chili pepper. Now, our last section, let's first read the 2 questions and then read the passage. Number 1, why wasn't Mrs. Delaney in her usual spot? So, in the place that she usually is. Why wasn't she there? Question 2, what does Ethan find under Mrs. Delaney's pillow? So, she's not there, but Ethan goes and finds something under Mrs. Delaney's pillow. What is it? So, let's read and find out. One morning, Mrs. Delaney wasn't in her usual spot. The nurse told Ethan she had passed away quietly in her sleep. His chest felt heavy, like he had swallowed a stone. In her room, he found the chili pepper dried and the crane dusty. Under her pillow was a note. For Ethan, fold 1,000 cranes. They bring luck and patience. Beside it lay a box of origami paper. Ethan didn't finish his 100 volunteer hours. Instead, he spent afternoons folding cranes with other residents, listening to their stories. He learned Mr. Thompson had been a jazz musician, and Ms. Rosa had traveled to 30 countries. At the college interview, the recruiter asked, "What did volunteering teach you?" Ethan smiled. Time isn't something to finish. It's a gift to share. So, let's answer our first question. Why wasn't Mrs. Delaney in her usual spot? Because the nurse told Ethan she had passed away quietly in her sleep. She had died. Question 2. What does Ethan find under Mrs. Delaney's pillow? She finds a note, and on that note, There is something written. Mrs. Delaney has written for Ethan. Fold 1,000 cranes. They bring luck and patience. And our bonus question, what did Ethan learn by volunteering? The answer is, he learned that time isn't something to finish. It's a gift to share with others. اگه از این ویدیو خوشتون اومد میتونید این ویدیو رو هم ببینید که یه داستان کوتاه دیگر رو توش کار میکنیم. تا ویدیوی بعد، خدا نگهدار.